5 years ago, we purchased property to build our dream home. And my gosh golly, do we have one heck of a view.
Isn't this what we were talking about like a year and a half ago? We're like, can you imagine a deck and a hot tub looking that way?
But we bought a rock pit.
Can you even lift that?
Hell no, I mean heck no. It's as big as me, curled up in a ball, almost.
When it came time to backfilling precious underground utilities, we had a major problem.
Wow, yeah, it just, boom. It's gonna just keep cracking too.
We knew we needed some fill dirt, rock-free, to do the initial backfilling when Jesse came up with a great idea.
So in the mining industry, they have this thing where like a tractor comes
and they take this big bucket full of rock and they dump it on it, and it's kind of like a colander, like you use for canning when you dump like the fruit in and all the juice comes out, like that. But we're gonna build it with like 2x6s, and then we're gonna use like chicken wire, and we're gonna use these big like fencing staples, and we're gonna put it in there, and we're gonna lean it up, and then like we can move it around. And I'm gonna put it on the trailer, and I'll take it to the top of the hill, and then we'll filter all the dirt, and that way we don't have to buy backfill.
So we tried it out. The concept was great, and we've been able to get the backfill we needed to some degree.
That's what we started with. Bah, big mess. And look at all this beautiful backfilly, topsoily looking stuff.
But as time went on, our DIY grizzly kept breaking. So we kept fixing it and rebuilding it to make it better.
I think it works.
Holy crap!
As you can see, our soil to rock ratio is quite low.
And better.
I think you can see behind me, we now have Grizzly 3.0.
Version 3.0 was hands down the best yet, and allowed us to filter the material we moved from the hillside when excavating our home site. We were able to filter out the fines and use this to do the initial backfilling of our water system. The rest of the material was placed on an unused portion of our property, and the grizzly was laid to rest for a few years until it was ready for its next project. Three years later, and we were ready to put what was left of the grizzly to work. We had two projects we wanted to get done and knew just where to get the material. First, we recently widened our driveway by 6 feet, and we want to build a retaining wall out of large river rock to make it look nice. Second, we recently completed trenching for water and natural gas on the east side of our home and want a nice flat spot with some grass where we can retreat to on warm afternoons. The excavation was done, but we needed some soil to smooth things out and place our grass seed. Bucket by bucket, we separated rock from dirt, getting just enough for the foundation of our mini lawn, but not nearly enough for the retaining wall when we gave her the death blow. And, well, it got to a point where better entailed building one out of steel or buying a real rock grizzly. Sturdy, made from steel, a bulletproof soil screener, a riser box, a vibrator, adjustable tilt angles, night and day from our DIY versions. Now we're talking. What's ironic is by the time we got to our third version on our DIY grizzly, we had many of the same general concepts in the design, but the materials were simply inadequate. We went back and forth about abandoning the filtering project altogether, building a new sacrificial grizzly for the job that would cost time, money, and likely would break again before the job was complete. Building our own steel grizzly that would take an eternity and still be expensive with the high cost of steel, or pulling the trigger on a machine that would last a lifetime and open up all kinds of doors for us. We'd already validated the soil screening concept, so we decided it was time to rock and roll. Now that we have the right tool for the job and almost unlimited material from things we'll already be doing, There's no reason not to turn a bunch of lemons into lemonade and make this rock pit insanely profitable. After a few buckets through the screener, we were already amazed that it just worked. Just like our DIY version, but better in every aspect.
This is what killed the other grizzly. All the grass gets caught in the mesh or whatever, and then I was trying to get the grass out, and when I did that I ended up breaking the grizzly. So let's try turning the vibrator on, see if that solves the problem. Yeah! We win!
Wow, just awesome. The vibrator? Total necessity. The cool thing about this machine is that I think there's around 13 screens available for it, each giving you the ability to create a different end product. Obviously, we aren't trying to become our own quarry necessarily, but if we limited ourselves to 2 screens in total, we wanted the ability to create large river rock, and then run the leftover through again to create drain rock. There's room on our property for large-scale landscaping with both river rock and drain rock. The possibilities are endless. If you look carefully, the fines pile we're creating does have 3 to 4 inch rock in it. Depending on the application, we may not filter it out. But once we have a massive pile, it'll be nothing to take a day to get the job done. For inquiring minds, large river rock is $51 a yard. Topsoil is $31 a yard. When we pay to have material delivered, it can be done 11 yards at a time, and transportation per load is roughly $100. We're unconventional in the way we go about things. We always look at all options, and most of the time, we prefer the satisfaction and freedom that results from having the ability to make our own materials, not to mention it usually pencils out and even puts us way ahead of buying certain materials. It's meaningful work, something we can share as a family, and gives us a deep sense of pride and accomplishment in our home. And let's not even talk about the large rock we're putting aside for retaining walls. Filtering round 1. 250 to 300 yards of material in the bank. $12,000 to $15,000 in value generated. Projects we can use this for? Personal energy will be our limitation, not our material. The cost of the grizzly? Already covered. When filtering our rock, we tried to first pull out any big rocks first, and to our surprise, between all the excavation projects we've done on our property, we actually had quite a lot of them. I don't even want to know what it would cost to buy all of these, but now that we have the right tools to harvest them and move them, there's no reason not to put them to work. Most of these rocks can't even be lifted by one man. I think in total we've gotten about 3 dump truck loads of these big guys. Completing the landscaping for a driveway should be no problemo. It's so satisfying looking at all this usable material we created from what would otherwise be waste. And it only further reinforces our decision to invest in ourselves and our property. We look forward to sharing with you how we put this to use.